got some news regarding the Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer, and no, he did not get caught with sticky stuff. I do want to mention that these are allegations. I just want to point that out there right now. We don't know who's right and who's wrong in the situation. But he is facing allegations of assault. So unlike all the other ones that we talked about, Mario, we've been talking about a lot of these cases a lot lately with other athletes. But unlike those ones, this one actually does have a backstory. And Trevor Bauer's agent, Jon Fetterolf, he actually explains what was going on in his own words. So basically, what ended up happening was Trevor Bauer and the woman. And by the way, I just want to mention that ESPN chose not to use the woman's name for privacy reasons. But, his agent and the woman's attorney, whose name is Mark Gerlich, they chose to use their name, but the ESPN article opted not to for privacy. But anyway, Bauer and the woman had two encounters, and she continued to message him with, quote, friendly and flirtatious banter. After the second encounter, Mario, the woman shared photos of herself and indicated to Bauer that she had, quote, sought medical care for a concussion, to which Bauer responded with, quote, concern and confusion. And Federer mentioned that the woman was, quote, neither angry nor accusatory. So you may be wondering, well, how did this happen? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, and I have a statement from Bauer's agent. It says, and I quote, Mr. Bauer had a brief and wholly consensual sexual relationship initiated by the woman beginning in April of 2021, so recently. We have messages that show the woman repeatedly asking for rough sexual encounters involving requests to be choked out and slapped in the face. Careful what you wish for, people. In both of the encounters, the woman drove from San Diego to Mr. Bauer's residence in Pasadena, California, where she went on to dictate what she wanted from him sexually, and he did what was asked. Mr. Bauer and the woman have not corresponded in over a month and have not seen each other in over 6 weeks. Her basis for filing or fulfilling a protection order is non-existent, fraudulent, and deliberately omits key facts, information, in her own relevant communications. Any allegations that the pair's encounters were not 100% consensual are baseless, defamatory, and will be rebutted to the fullest extent of the law. And I also have a statement from the woman's attorney herself, whose name is Mark Gerlich. He says, and I quote, our goal is to keep Mr. Bauer from contacting our client in any way possible. We anticipate that that there will be criminal action against Mr. Bauer, and it is our hope law enforcement will take our client's allegations case seriously. And he alleged in a statement that his client suffered severe physical and emotional pain as a result of recent assault from Bauer. And just to point this out, Major League Baseball has been made aware of the allegations against Bauer and will look into the matter, and the Dodgers have as well. And they actually released a short statement. They said, and I quote, "We were made aware of the allegations against Trevor Bauer late this afternoon and immediately contacted Major League Baseball, which will be handling the matter. The Dodgers take any allegations of this nature very seriously, but will have no further comment at this time." So yeah, there's a lot going on here, Mario. I'll start off with this first. Before I do, this article was written by Alden Gonzalez and Jefferson. So let me go first, okay? First of all right, if you're gonna go out and have a little bit of fun, fine. But when the woman say, if you're gonna have that kind of fun, all right, and I know people probably know what I'm trying to talk about. If you're gonna have that fun, and the woman is saying, slap me across the face, choke me out, don't do it. Because even though she said, oh yeah, you're neither angry nor accusatory, are they really? Are they really? You know what I mean? That's why I always say, when it comes to stuff like that, do not do it. Don't. Like, you want to have sex with a girl, fine, but don't hit her. You know what I mean? Don't hit her. Don't like do stuff that she was telling him to do, and he ended up doing it. And now look what happens. You know what I mean? Now, obviously Trevor Bauer, he just won the Cy Young last year. He signed a 3-year, $102 million contract with the Dodgers. He has all that going for him, and this is what he does. You know what I mean? This is why you guys have to be very, very careful. Now, again, these are allegations, so we don't exactly know who's right, but let's just say that was the case. If you do get yourself in a situation like that, do not listen to her. Because in reality, even though she's saying, oh, yeah, I'm not mad, I'm not going to accuse you of nothing, why am I reading the story? Why am I sitting up here talking about this? Do I really trust that you're actually going to say nothing? How do I know you're not going to say something? That's why I tell you people, if you're going to have sex with her, fine. Just one thing, be safe, okay? But the other thing is, don't do stuff like this. Because she's probably going to be like, oh, yeah, we're it's all good over here, but is it really? I don't trust you. I don't trust you enough to think that you're not going to accuse me of something. Who told me to do this? You know what I mean? So that's just my advice. If you're gonna go out and have some fun, fine. Just don't hit people. You know what I mean? Not now. Trevor Bauer's getting himself in a situation that he doesn't need to get into. And again, like I said, these are allegations, so we don't know exactly who's in the right and who's in the wrong. But say Trevor Bauer did do this again. Shame on you. You have all this stuff going for you. You won the Cy Young. You're one of the Dodgers ace pitchers. You have $103 million contract for 3 years. You're making $45 million a year. And this is what you want to do. Look, man. Well, man, all I'm gonna say, because again, there's really not a lot else for me to say here. All I'm gonna say is, look, this is my advice. If you're gonna have a fun night out, all right, fine. As long as you're protected, as long as you're safe, and don't do stuff like this. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because even though and it's not just women, men do it too. Men do this too. So, but even though the person's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna accuse you of nothing, don't listen to that because most likely they are. You just want something out of you. So, with that being said, I'm not gonna wish anybody the best of luck because again, I don't know what's going on here. My advice is just if you're gonna go out, have some fun with people. Just be safe with it. All right. Just don't go do stupid stuff like this. That's all I'm gonna say.
Look, I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain this. See, I disagree with you partially. I'll explain why. Okay. First of all, everybody, I'm going to say this right now. Everybody has a certain sexual preference on what they want to do in bed or whatever the case is. That's people's privacy. I don't need to hear about that. Again, this is, I'm going to say it right now. She was basically asking for rough sex. Okay. According to this quote right here, she was asking for rough sex, which if that's what they're into, then to each his own. Here's what I will say though. That's where I disagree with you right there. Is some people do enjoy this type of stuff. This is what their sexual preference is. Here's where I agree with you now. Okay. It doesn't seem to me like Trevor Bauer knew this lady. It's again right here. It says they initiated by the beginning of April 2021. So we didn't know her that long. Okay. My problem with this is the fact that Trevor Bauer actually trusted this woman, in which he said, doesn't mean doesn't mean again that according to this, she was neither angry nor accusatory. Does not mean that's the way she's gonna be, Now according to his agent, they have messages that showed she repeatedly asked for rough sexual encounters, which if they do show that, then most likely nothing's really going to happen to him, because that's what she
asked for.
And like he said, he did what he was asked. But at the same time, let this be a lesson to Trevor Bauer if this is true, if this whole part is true, because again, we don't know who's right or wrong. Okay, this might not even be the correct story. We're not sure, but let this be a lesson. Do not trust these people. Okay, personally, I wouldn't have done it. All right, you didn't know her that long, and I know she's asking for this stuff, but I wouldn't have done it because at the same time, you are an athlete, like you said. You do make $130-something million for 3 years, if I'm correct. But that's what you just said.
103 million.
Right. So you do make a lot of money. You are in the public eye. There are going to be people like this. If this is true, if this part of the story is true, okay, there are going to be people like this who do this type of thing to get attention and to get money from you too. At that, So
hence why I say don't. If the woman asks you to do that, say no because you don't know if that's
right. Exactly I'll say this. If this was like he knew this girl for even times, it's very like you got to be very careful, but. There are people who sexually prefer this. This is the way they prefer to have sex. So I can't be somebody who says don't do this type of thing, like you said, because this might be what turns them on.
Well, I said it in the sense of if you're around the person that you don't really know that well.
Okay, yeah, right. If you say it that way, I agree with you. But in other cases, there are people who prefer these types of sexual encounters. And if two people really prefer and they're consensual about it, then to each his own. But I will say this: if this part of the story is true, then Trevor Bauer should have been more aware. You didn't know her that long. You didn't know what type of person she is. This type of stuff, again, you shouldn't be doing. It's as simple as that. Now, again, could this also be not the right story? Absolutely. This might be false as well. You know, we don't know the actual true story. When they finally find out what happened, we'll let you know. According to the agent, they had messages that show her asking for it. Okay, maybe he ended up going there and having sex, and it got too far, or whatever the case may be. We're not quite sure, name, but all I know is this. Okay, all I know is the MLB is looking through it. They're investigating it, and whatever they decide to give as a punishment, or if they decide to give no punishment, that's the decision by the MLB. So if we do get an update on this, we will definitely let you guys know. But overall, let this be a lesson. If you don't trust somebody, okay, if you don't know somebody for too long, don't trust them into doing these types of things. Okay, even though that might be your preference, again, they might say this to end up getting them into some backfire, but or it could be the other way around. Maybe this wasn't the true story, and we don't know exactly what the true story is. As of now, these are allegations, so we don't know whether they're true or false. But overall, let this be a lesson. Be very, very careful. Be safe, okay? And if you don't know the person too well and they say stuff like this, most likely this isn't a good sign.